But I think in a physical altercation, I mean, this is my opinion, allegedly. I think in a
Yeah.
physical altercation, War Child would beat the living piss out of Exile. That's just that's my opinion. That's just my opinion. Because War Child does fight. He does compete. He actually does. He does compete. Exile.
He doesn't
Did you see
behave like it. He behaves like a fucking steroid junkie, like a ghetto steroid junkie. He doesn't behave like somebody that's competed or learned any kind of respect for martial arts or anything like that. He's a loudmouth fucking idiot. And he
I
doesn't fight
understand.
anybody. That's the craziest thing. It's been years, and this guy hasn't fought nobody on YouTube. He's just a loud motherfucker that keeps saying he's going to assault people, but never does it. It's been like 30 people he said this to, and he hasn't fought one of them. He hasn't did anything. That's why I have these opinions about War Child. I know they're different from yours. That's totally fine.
That's totally cool because and that's a great thing about talking because we have different views on it. But I think from what I can see from him, and then then when Exile cammed up, I'm like, yo, are you serious? You look like a fucking junkie bum. But no, it's cool. No, like I said, it is what it is. I don't know, but in my honest opinion, War Child seems like he's in shape. He's in shape. You know what I'm saying? He's and Exile just seems like just a disheveled bum to me. But I mean, I could be wrong. I can completely be wrong. But that was the feeling I got from the whole conversation, And then Exile telling me he beat me up. That was the funniest shit I've ever heard in my life, bro. Bro, you're like five.
Did Exile say he was gonna beat you up? That's funny.
Yeah. He would kick my tail. The dude's like 5'9", 165 pounds, bro. I would destroy you. Like it's not even fair. Like I told you on the panel. It's like I wouldn't even fight you because it's not fair to fight someone that's 50 pounds bigger than you. It's not fair. So it is what it is.
It's not fair in competition, but if you guys are having a street fight, there's no rules in a street fight, so there's nothing that can be considered fair or not fair in a street fight.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. If you saw me in person,
you wouldn't fight him in the street.
Banana, if you saw me in person, I'm a pretty big guy. It's just I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it.
Well, that doesn't matter though to other people. You could be the biggest guy in the world, and it just doesn't matter to some people. But like if they hit you or something, then obviously you gotta hopefully defend yourself and not just let somebody smack you around and make you look like a bitch.
Not at all. But I wouldn't put myself in that situation with someone much smaller than me, because they're gonna get hurt, and then I'm gonna go to jail,
Oh, speaking of which, all right, you guys, this is interesting because allegedly this guy died. So what was happening was, there was this guy. He's like a streamer. I don't know exactly what platforms he streams on. I'm guessing YouTube too. But his name's like Vitali or something. He's like a predator hunter, right? He runs a show. They kind of go around in like this like bus or van thing. They have like a camera. He's like the host, and they start catching like people they were chatting with. They come with their receipts, and they're like, "Hey, you said this. You thought you were being a kid, right?" And then so this guy was filming his show. They caught a guy, and somebody that was like a fan of the show or something saw what was going on, and he's like saying something like, "I hope these people follow you," or something. And then he just goes bah, like that and just hits the guy. The guy goes like out code, basically, falls back, hits his head on the cement, cracks his skull basically because there's like a puddle of blood under him. And when they flip him over, there's even more blood. And allegedly, they said the guy died on the way to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
So
I saw that.
Like if he died, the guy that hit him is like literally gonna get probably 10 years for that. I mean, aggravated manslaughter, right? Like you didn't mean to kill him, you just meant to hurt him, but you killed him and you didn't give him any due justice, whether he was a chomo or not. I mean, you can't just go punch Thumper 88 to death. It's not okay. It's not legal, I guess.
It's not. It's not. And the biggest thing. So the biggest thing, and just real quick, and you know a lot about UFC and stuff like that. The biggest thing that you can do, you can punch somebody, you can ground pound somebody where you're ground pounding them. But if you hit someone with an elbow, if you hit them with an elbow, dude, you're out. You're out. Did he hit him with an elbow?
No, he punched him. He punched him.
Okay, he punched him. Okay, he's
He
so he's
punched
got a
him.
strong.
He punched him. No, well, the guy wasn't expecting him to punch him. Obviously, they were all talking to him, and then this guy came up kind of aggressive, but he wasn't behaving like he was about to hit him, and they kind of sucker punched him. So like obviously, the punches you don't see coming are the ones that really affect you the most. So
So what? Yeah.
that
So
and plus this guy was like 58 or 7 or something, and so
wow.
he's out, he drops and he hits his back first and then his head slams into the cement. This is why I never recommend street fighting, because sometimes you punch somebody once and they fucking die. I can't stress that enough. That's why when people say stupid shit like, I'll walk up to you and I'll hit you, I'll be like, dude, I'm gonna fucking I will literally, and I tell them what I do. I'll pull out little things and whatever. But the thing is, because this happens, sometimes you run up and punch somebody, and you don't think, "Oh, I'm gonna go to prison for 10 years for this action." Most likely, I get in trouble for like a week or two, maybe spend the night in jail and do some probation or something. But if you punch somebody and they die, and then also you got to think about it that way. It would be like if somebody's punching you, and there's a potential you could die there in the streets. So that's why I'm always saying there's no rules in the streets, but it's hard to feel bad for a possible chobo.
I don't know if we share the same brain, because what you just said is exactly what I was actually thinking at the same time. I had a friend of mine. I was 20, and he was at the club, right? And the guy was messing with him, and he punched him one time, and he K-worded him. He just punched him one time, but he was a boxer, but he hit him a certain way, and the guy actually passed away, and he got 10 years in prison. He did.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, but the thing is that the guy didn't start the fight. He was like, "Yeah, get away from me, man." No. And he just went. He clocked him, right, and the guy fell, and then he passed away like a couple hours later. So what I'm trying to say is that the best way to not get in trouble is to avoid the fight. Just walk away from it. Just now, if you're in a ring and you have a headgear and you have gloves on, then you have a good opportunity not to K-word somebody. But if you hit somebody with an open hand, if you can punch really hard, like if you can punch hard and you hit somebody with an open hand at a certain point, you can take them out. I mean, it's true. It doesn't matter your size. If you can hit, you can really damage somebody, So what I'm trying to say is that don't go there. It's not worth it, I know we like to watch UFC, but listen, UFC, they're weight matched. They have the gloves, and they take care of the fighters. If somebody's getting hurt badly, they stop it. But in a street fight,
was this one of your friends you said, or like Tyler Durden has a question? I guess
it was a friend of mine.
This was your friend.
It was a friend of mine.
He killed this dude.
Yeah, he basically. So this is what happened. We were at the club, right? We were at the club. It was called Abyss in Virginia Beach, and we were young. And it was some military guy, and he was just talking crap to my friend, just talking crap to him. And my friend's like, and I'm like, yo, just come on, man, because I was always a diffuser. I was always a diffuser. But the guy and then the guy pushed him, and he just bow. I mean, he just clocked him, and the guy fell. Sorry, man.
That's what it looks like from the guy's perspective when he fell. That's what it looked like, you guys.
Yo, my boy, he could punch so hard. Like, he had a punch that would knock you out. But he hit him, I guess, at the right point in the side of the head. And I mean, it is what it is. And the guy fell, and they took him to the hospital, and the guy passed away. That's what happened. But
yep,
it was involuntary manslaughter. It wasn't voluntary. It was involuntary. But
yeah, the funny thing is like having your time out there with your friend, not thinking, oh, if I get in a bar fight, how drastically a street fight, let alone like anything that's not in a cage, right? And even if you got cage experience, like you said, your friend was a boxer or whatever, right? So like he knows how to throw a nice formed punch and where to hit. So you know, like a lot of that does go into consideration too. So they'll be like, you probably could have de-escalated the situation a lot more or something, and you know, your results, your actions have consequences, and whether you meant to do it or not, you still lost 10 years of your life, and you're probably gonna get fucked in the ass once at least, or fuck somebody in the ass. Welcome to prison for 10 years.
I boxed him a couple times, and he was little. He was like maybe 5'8", 5'9", but he was about 200 pounds. So he was like a Mike Tyson, you know, looking kind of guy, right? And he hit me one time, and I was like, yo. Like, it was like, oh, shit. Like he, bow. I'm like, whoa. And that's with gloves on, you know? So, but when he hit this guy, he turned his waist, and he came in a full hook. Boom. And it was like, I knew it was over. And he got the guy right here in the temple. He got him right in the temple. And I'm like, oh, shit. You know, I thought the guy's knocked out, but I guess he got, you know,
well, no, he probably was knocked out for a while. I don't know. You can usually hear snoring. Like,
those shorter guys with the weight. Like, if you're shorter and you're like 150, okay, you know, you're a flyweight, a bantamweight, and you're going to box. But if you're, you know, 5'8", 5'9", 200 pounds, and you spin that weight and you throw that punch, pow! I mean, it was yo, and the guy just went. He just dropped to the ground. It wasn't even like, you know, it was one punch. It was one punch. It wasn't like, you know, they're duking it out. You know, they're throwing. No. It was one shot, and he knocked the guy completely on the floor. And, you know, the guy ended up passing away, you know, but it was involuntary. You know, he was defending himself. I don't think he should have got any time. But
well, what do you think would happen with this guy here? Because this dude ran up and punched what he thought, you know, or what possibly was a pedophile dude. And he just wanted to punch him, but he accidentally potentially killed him. I'm assuming the stories I've seen are true, because I heard that he died on the way to the hospital, which kind of made sense because I seen the video. I kind of watched it back a few times, how he got hit. He got hit in the chin here, basically, like, whoop, whoop, went down on his back, and then just head smashed concrete. So, I mean, I think maybe fractured skull, brain swelling, brain bleeding, and then, you know, he sees up in the fucking hospital or whatever. That could have been the same thing that happened to your friend. Usually it's some kind of brain swelling or brain damage that gets you.
It's a hemorrhage. It's a hemorrhage. So basically you're breaking a vein inside the brain, and it hemorrhages. And then that's how you know, it's a hemorrhage, you know. An aneurysm is basically something else, but a hemorrhage, in other words, if you hit somebody, like you have concussions, right? You have concussions where your brain swells, right? That's a concussion. Your brain swells, but then it goes back down. But if you have a hemorrhage where you have a vein that breaks in your brain, it's going to continue to bleed. And then that's how you can allegedly pass away. Yeah, I'm not a doctor, but that's just what I've heard. You know, like if you get a hemorrhage in your brain, like if you hit somebody hard enough, they're going to hemorrhage. And that's when your brain starts bleeding. Yes, blood on the brain. And then they can't get rid of it. And it ruptures all the sensories, you know. So, but it's just the way the brain works is fascinating. And that's another topic you should look at how the brain works. But no, he literally, I swear to you, brother, I swear to you, he hit this guy one time. I was there. I watched it.
Yeah, that's all it takes, man. That's what I'm saying. So, like, do you think the guy, like you said, you don't think your friend deserves 10 years, but he got it anyway? Like, do you think the guy that did this, I guess, like, very, very aggressive assault on, you know, somebody that wasn't even trying to fight him? So, I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like he would at least get 10 years.
So the guy was running his. I'll give you the whole breakdown. So that we're on the floor, right? So there's different levels in the club, right? So we're on the floor. Yeah. Now I'm 20 years old, 21 years old, and he's running his mouth to my boy, right? And he's just running his mouth. And he was in the military. He was a Marine. He was in the military, and I'm very pro-military. I have nothing against the military. I'm very pro. But he kept running his mouth. He was drunk. He kept running his mouth. And my boy's name was JC, right? So, and he's like, yeah, whatever. and he turns his back to him, and he's pushing him, right? So JC
A
turns
lot of
around
these
and goes,
people in the comments don't believe your medical stuff, I guess. I don't know.
"What's so funny?"
I mean, I'm not a doctor, you guys. I never
Yeah.
claimed to be.
So he keeps pushing my friend, right? And it's like 6 of us, right? And there was like 10 of them. And he just keeps pushing my friend. He just keeps pushing him. And he's like, yo, just, get away from me. You know what I'm saying? So he turns his back and he's talking to us. He's like, in other words, he's ignoring them. And then the guy ended up punching him. So JC turns around and goes,
Oh,
boom!
so your friend was defending himself then. That doesn't make
Yes.
sense. Then why would he get
That's what
charged with
I'm
killing the
saying.
guy? That doesn't
But
make sense.
He hit him, bro. I mean, you could hear it. It was like this. This is what it sounded like. Like that, the punch was like, yo, like he hit him like full force.
But like the other guy hit him first. So like why would he get charged with anything? That's stupid.
Was he K-worded the guy? That's why.
So what? Well, so what? He punched him. He punched him back. I mean, I feel like that's just a normal fight.
I didn't go to trial. Like I said, I didn't go to the trial because it would hurt me. But he got 10 years for involuntary.
I'm guessing your friend probably punched this guy first, Mike.
No, he did not. He did not. The guy kept pushing him.
What was your friend's name? We could look it up. I could look up the case.
His name was JC, but I'm not gonna tell you his last name. I'm not gonna do that. Because I'm telling you a true story. This is a true story.
Well, I just wanted to look up the things. I want to see what he got charged with, everything. Like, because I don't get how he.
Involuntary manslaughter. Involuntary.
Yeah, but you don't get that for self-defense though. You don't get involuntary manslaughter for defending yourself. So
this is what I think happened because JC had a criminal record prior, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the person
the boys in the hood are always hot.
Yeah. JC had a criminal record prior, but was living a good life. But then the guy that he K-worded was military. And in Virginia Beach, it's all pro-military. So
Combat Wombat. I looked up the whole nightclub in 2 minutes. The whole thing. I looked it all up. Sounds like you did a lot of thorough work there in your 2 minutes of research, Combat Wombat.
Yeah. It didn't happen in the club. It actually happened across the street at the pavilion. But that's okay. That's okay.
What is a pavilion? Is that like a movie theater?
It's
or is that like a
big catering hall?
Oh, okay.
We're talking about this is back in 95, 96.
Is that where Con Air was? Why are they talking about Con Air? I was just reading comments over here.
It did actually happen. That actually happened. It actually happened. And it sucks because he was being picked on by this moron, the drunk moron, and he turned around and he punched him. And he happened to be a trained fighter, and he ended up.
So he was being picked on verbally then.
No, this guy was drunk, right? And you just kept fucking with him. He just kept pushing his shoulder, and he's like, and we're trying to ignore the dude. Yeah, come on, man.
Was he putting his ankle on your ankle? Because that meant he probably wanted to fuck your friend.
Yeah, he just kept pushing it back of his back, and then
was he trying to rub up on his junk and stuff?
No,
he probably just wanted to bang him, man.
Nothing gay, but he just.
Are you sure? Was this not a gay club? I forget. What was this place?
But at one point,
he was after the pussy. He was after the pussy people.
It didn't happen somewhere else, but it happened across the street. So the pavilion is right across the street. So you don't fight in the club. You go across the street and fight. You don't fight in the club.
Oh wow. Yeah. So this guy bumped you guys and followed you guys all the way from the club to the pavilion across the street.
Okay, so all right, let's so you're not going to dissect this in a wrong way. So basically, the club. Listen. The club's parking lot always gets filled up, so you would park across the street because the pavilion had a really, really big parking lot, and you could park there. So when we were leaving. That's when it happened.
You say you're not going to dissect this. That's funny because literally you're the one dissecting it and presenting it to us. It's not me necessarily dissecting what you're saying. It's just I'm asking questions.
Because he was like, yo, I don't want to, because he's pushing him. He's like, whatever. Let's just bounce. Let's just bounce out. and we were
Yeah,
bouncing
and then
out.
and then he followed you all. Like I
Yeah.
said before, you accused me of things. Like I said, you met this guy at the club. He was annoying you, whatever, and then you guys went all the way across the street where you parked, and then went like in that area. Did you guys find the parking lot or in the actual like pavilion movie theater building mall thing, or was it in
This
the
happened
parking lot?
when he hit him. It was in the parking lot.
Ooh, nice.
It was in the parking lot.
See,
We were like, yeah. We're like, oh shit, But
like
it
a
is what it is.
roundhouse. Sorry,
he
there's
hit
a
him.
fucking
He hit him so hard. He hit this guy so hard. It was like, yo, you could hear it like down the street. It was like, pow! Like he just punched the shit out of this guy, and then he fell.
and
Boom.
then the guy died.
Yeah.
And then your friend went to prison. This is a great story. I love it. One guy dies, the other one goes to prison. These are my kind of stories. That's why I love the Old Testament.
He went to prison, man, and JC was. I'm telling you this right now.
Did you ever write him in prison?
Yeah, I talked to him. I would talk to him all the time. I would talk.
Did he get out of prison yet?
Yeah, he's already out.
Oh, did he get out earlier, or did he do the whole 10 years?
Bro, this is back in '96.
Oh, okay. So, well, I mean, he could have died in prison. I don't know. Is he still alive?
No, he got out. But it's this thing is that
he still alive?
Yeah.
Oh.
And he still trains. I still talk to him. He's a beast. He's a fucking beast. Like this guy punches like Mike Tyson. Like it's unbelievable. But no,
how big was he?
What, 5'9"?
I can't figure out how to block my regular name.
Yeah, about 5'9", 200 pounds. Yeah.
So Golden Eyes is not a fan, apparently.
Yeah. But he could fight. He could box. He had stamina. He could box. And but when he hit this guy, I think
was it an Australian guy? M. Connor's asking.
Yeah. So when his adrenaline was up, when he hit this guy, it was just like it was almost like a hammer hitting him down. He just caught, boom! He just caught this guy so hard, bro. And I'm like, and the guy just went, boom. He went limp like right away, and I'm like, oh shit, And then the cops come and all this other shit, and they took him to the hospital.
Oh, did you guys stay there? Why didn't you leave? I would have left.
No, I'm not leaving because I was like, what the fuck? And the reason being is because we went to that club all the time, and everybody knew who I was.
Your friend, your dumbass friend, probably wouldn't have went to prison if you guys would have just left. It was fucking 1960, and the guy died. Like who was gonna witness it? It was two white men. One had an Australian accent.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he left or not. All the bouncers knew his name. They know where he lives. Like this.
They didn't know he went across the street and killed a guy, though. Nobody knew that. He could have just left.
It's across the street. They turn, they look, and they're watching what they saw. What was going on? They actually
were you guys making a bunch of noise? How do you? I thought you said you didn't see the trial. How do you know they testify? You say you didn't go to it.
They saw everything.
So you did go see the testimony and all that stuff.
Yeah, I didn't add anything, but I wanted him to, he K-worded somebody, but I mean, it was in self-defense. I mean, it should have been to where, he maybe took probation or something like that.
That's my thing. That's why I don't think something about the story is not making sense. Unless your friend hit this guy first.
Yeah.
But you said the guy hit your friend first.
Yes, because he had a prior record. He had a prior criminal record.
That does not matter.
So it does matter because they're looking at him as the antagonist, and then the other guy that he killed was in the military. So the military,
all the witnesses said, that other guy was bugging him all night and then punched him.
Say that. They didn't say that. They didn't. Say
what did they say? What did they say then?
They said he just should have walked away.
Oh, Well, they were like, Judge, I think he really should have walked away. And then the
Yeah.
judge goes, well, that's not what the fuck I asked you. I asked you what happened, not what you think should have happened. And then, that's what I would do if
But
I were the judge. I'd be like, I don't care what you think, sir. What happened is what I want to know. And
this is a true story. I mean, this really happened. And he lost 10 years of his life. He did. He lost 10 years of his life.
so he
And
didn't even get out like for good behavior or nothing.
10 years. 10 years.
10 years straight.
Yep.
Okay.
10 years. 10 years. And for basically punching some guy that was messing with him in the club. But because he keyboarded him, they gave him involuntary manslaughter. That's what they gave him. If it would have been M word, he probably would have got 15
true stories. Hashtag true stories by Mike Cerrone. I love it. Not like I think there's like some stuff in the story that might be a little wrong though. I feel like there is because legally it doesn't make sense.
It's exactly what happened, and he got railroaded because he should have never got 10 years. If you want to give the guy a couple years, or if you want to give the guy probation, but literally a guy was messing with him. He was getting pissed off.
Well, he could sue now, can he? Can he be like, hey, you guys took 10 years of my life? I
don't know, but he punched a guy, and then the guy fell, and then he was done. That's it, and that's exactly what happened. That's what happened. That's what happened. Now, is the sentence unreasonable? Yes, it is. I think it was ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous. He murdered a guy. It's not ridiculous. You kill somebody, you go to prison. Your actions have consequences, sir. Don't act like an idiot in a parking lot. Fuck around, find out.
But it wasn't in cold blood. It was basically someone's trying to.
What do you mean? He died. It was absolutely.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this question. I want you to answer me truthfully.
Okay? I always do.
So if I am harassing you, and I'm trying to fight you, I'm coming after you, and you punch me, and you K-word me. Do you deserve 10 years?
Well, if I punched you first, like you said in this story, you said your friend didn't punch him first. So if I punched you first, like if I punched you and then you punch me and I die, or if I punch, then, I don't know. I punched you first, so I would think you probably don't go to jail for killing me by reciprocating a punch. It'll be like an eye for an eye in the law's eyes. They'll be like, well, he punched you first, and then you punched him back, and then he fell and died. So I don't think you would get anything, honestly. I don't think you'd even get involuntary manslaughter because it was just a punch for a punch, and you happened to win the fight, and he started the fight because he followed your friend, or I followed you in this story, and then I punched you. So that's the part of the story that's not checking out for me. Like, your friend would have just got off clean if this were.
But he didn't. This is the biggest factor. The biggest factor is this: he was a prior criminal, right? He had a criminal record prior, and the person that he K-worded was in the military, and Virginia Beach is a military town.
This happened in Virginia Beach?
Yeah, in Virginia Beach.
At the Abyss Club?
Oh, well, across the street.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
No,
I wasn't there, I can't say, but yeah.
Yeah. They were fighting in the club. So then we ended up saying, and I pulled him aside. I was like, yo, let's just go, bro. Let's just get out of here. Let's just bounce, And I'm in my 20s, and I'm like, let's just bounce out. He's like, yeah, let's just go. And we're leaving, right? We're leaving. And then he starts walking across the street because we're parked across the street. And then he's like running his fucking mouth, blah, 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 blah. And he was just like, he just popped him. And the guy just, and that's what happened.